hey there everyone, History Mystery Man, back again in the Salem, Indiana town square, right where I love to be because I absolutely love small town America. And you know, if I had a mission statement in all this, it would be something along the lines of to promote, to protect, sounds like the Constitution, to promote, to protect, and preserve small town America. I think that pretty much nails it, and somewhere along the way to help out the small business owners, some of whom are struggling specifically through the Corona culture. But small town America means so much to me. I love it so much. I want to see it thrive, and I do believe there's going to be a resurgence in small town America. But I know some of the business owners need our help to sustain themselves. Think about it. What would this town square be in Salem, Indiana, if all these businesses were closed or boarded up or struggling? You'd lose the heart and soul of Salem, Indiana. It's so important that we support our small businesses. They need the help, and guess who else needs the help? Yeah, me, the History Mystery Man. I'll have coming up on my 4th or 5th Salem video, somewhere in there, I'm coming up on a couple hundred hours of production, time in the field, interviewing, producing, editing, soup to nuts, coming up on a couple hundred hours of production just to help promote Salem, Indiana, and I could sure use your help. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit here all night if I have to, or at least till the sun goes down, with my little donation cup out, my first ever attempt at getting my first donation. I'm going to start right here in Salem, Indiana. And I tell you what, I'm feeling good about it. And if I have to, I'll break out the kazoo if I have to, whatever it takes. But I'm feeling good about it. Yeah, I'm going to sit right here, hoping and praying. Baby, come on, help me out. You can do it. I tell you what, I'm so excited, waiting on my first order, or whatever goes in this cup. Either way, I'm so excited. This is off the charts cool. I'm so excited. Come on. Who wants to honk first? Come on now. History Mystery Man here. Come on now. Come on now. I'm talking to you. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Oh, a quarter. Whoa, I love quarters. You know what this is for me? The laundromat. Thank you. Actually, I did receive something. I heard from a married couple who grew up in Salem, Indiana. They've lived in Fayetteville, Arkansas for decades. They were here just in their youth, and they saw my videos on Salem. And she reached out to me and said, wow, how cool it must be to make a living doing what you love to do. And I said, well, I don't make a dime doing this. I just love to do it. She kind of snapped back and said, we were emailing back and forth. She said, what? Yeah, I don't make any, I'll have a couple hundred hours in this, and I won't. And you know what? You know what she said to me? She goes, I'm sending you a check, and I'm sending you a check right now. And today, I received a check for $100. I don't even know if I'm going to cash it. I might just frame it. This is so huge that someone saw value in what I do and sent me money for it. I mean, Don, thank you again for bringing Salem memories home. I had a great childhood there. Best wishes with your small town America work. I think there will be a resurgence for small towns. Best regards, Elaine. That coming from Elaine Williams and Dr. W. Fred Limp from Fayetteville, Arkansas. I am so grateful to you, and I thank you so very much. This is the most wonderful thing. So if you see value in what I do, if you like the videos I produce on small town America, I'm asking for a donation, anything to help me keep going so I can keep doing this. Anything, any small amount to any large amount to anywhere in between would be so gratefully appreciated. I've set up a PayPal account, paypal.com. Go there, plug in my email address, which you'll see right across the bottom of the screen, donradeball@gmail.com, donradeball@gmail.com. I know my last name is a little funky. Make sure you get the spelling right, RADEBAUGH, donradeball@gmail.com, at paypal.com. And I would be so grateful for anything you may be able to provide. In the meantime, I'm going to keep on keeping on. Enjoy Salem, Indiana, Part 3. Or is it Part 4? Can't remember. Either way, enjoy. I can't get over how beautiful the home is, Chris. And you probably know this place as well or better than anyone. You've been here how long?
40 years.
That's amazing in itself.
Yeah, this was always the house I wanted from when I was a little kid. So, we were both new teachers making that big fabulous salary of like $8,000 a year or something.
Whoa, some heavy hitters.
We worked it out to get it, and have loved all 40 years we've been here.
And now me, the perfect stranger, pounds on your door and says, "Hey, can I see your house?"
We've had a lot of perfect strangers like that.
Really? I'm not the only one?
No.
Okay,
no.
I'm feeling better now.
It's always been a house that's, because it is so unique, has a lot of curiosity to it. Well, and it's kind of has a storied past. We'll talk more about that, I guess, inside.
I'm thinking.
This, in a Victorian era, this is called a porte cochere. It says, well, why is it so tall? Well, it was tall because you had horse and buggy.
That's
So
interesting.
it was much higher to come through here than a car would be when you have a horse and carriage.
That's so cool.
We're going to be on the market in two weeks or so. It's going to go on the market.
Good timing for the house tour.
Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect.
Oh my God. This garden area is just fascinating. This is the kind of backyard where you just kind of want to hang.
Well,
And I bet you've done that a lot over the years.
Well, it kind of feels like you're not right in the middle of town.
Mm-hmm.
To have a place like a garden like this, it's just neat to kind of forget you're in the middle of town when you're sitting here listening to the water.
Yeah. This is like Better Homes and Gardens, but better than Better Homes and Gardens. This porch is gorgeous. Another area, wonderful area to watch the world go by, the wraparound porch. This is the circular section. Really is beautiful. Now we're going in. Wow, this is going to be a treat. In the front door. Oh, Lord.
Oh, there's my wife.
Hey, welcome home. Perfect stranger here. But I thank you so much for inviting me into your home. It's absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, beyond incredible. I've got to believe. Now, you said, Chris, that the home was built in 1898?
1897 is when they started construction. She actually moved in 1898.
Oh, so you've been here 40 years.
Right.
So all the magical moments here, you raised your family here, your kids, your grandkids. How hard is it going to be, or difficult is it going to be to drive away for the final time? Is that?
Well, it's going to be difficult. We had thought at one point, this is a couple of years ago, that it had sold. So we had said goodbye to the house already, and the family had all said goodbye, and it was pretty tough at that point. But then that sale did not go through; it fell through. So now it's kind of like we're thinking, we've got most of that out of the way now, all the sadness. So now,
But when you spend 40 years in a home, and you go through each and every room and you recall and remember a special moment that happened there with your child or something, a Christmas or something. That was always difficult for me to walk away from things like that.
That's all really special, but I also look at those rooms and think, that was a lot of scraping on paint. That's a lot of
all right, let's get to the bare facts here.
Yeah.
But this is a spectacular foyer area.
Yeah.
My gosh.
So
wait, hold on a minute. You mean to tell me all the woodwork was at one time painted?
Painted white.
You got to be kidding me.
And they also put...
Now, there's nothing wrong with folks who like white painted woodwork in the more contemporary setting, and the beautiful woodwork is really part of the magic of the home.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the floors, and of course, like I said, they covered a lot of floors over with linoleum.
Obviously, are the original hardwood floors.
Right.
They are spectacular. So you actually stripped. I don't know that I've ever seen more woodwork in a home in my life, and you stripped all of it?
A lot of, yeah, most of it we did.
This is
This
beautiful.
was the formal parlor.
Formal?
That's what it would have been concerned. That is the only original light fixture from when the house was built. And it was gas when the house was built. There was no electricity in town yet. And for some reason, it's the only stained and leaded glass window in the house is there in the front window of the parlor. Usually Victorian houses had lots of stained glass. I don't know if Mrs. Gladden just didn't care for that or what, but she didn't spare expenses anyplace else, but she didn't have but that one piece.
Everything about it, even this cool little nook over here.
That's
incredible.
That little nook was supposedly built for her harpsichord. Mrs. Gladden had a harpsichord, and the way the story goes is that she insisted on having an area just for her harpsichord to be put, and that's where that was.
And her name was Maddie Gladden, right?
It was actually Martha Johnson was her maiden name.
Okay.
Then when she was a working girl herself, down in Nashville, Tennessee, at a house of ill repute, she was married to a Schultz. And she had 5 different husbands in her lifetime.
Do we know whatever happened to Maddie Gladden?
Well, yeah, she was here and ran the business. The town it wasn't legal to have a house of ill repute.
Which is a nice way to say whorehouse, yes?
Yeah, that's
okay,
the
is that what we're...
nicest way to say
I don't want to be perfectly clear, because,
Right.
I mean, that's a story in itself that little small town Salem, Indiana, actually had. What was that name you gave it? A house
Bordello.
Bordello. Oh, there's yet another name for it.
House of the Evening.
Yep.
She died in 1917. And the town fathers were forced to close her down by, I'm sure, the town mothers. And so she only ran the house like about 6 years before she closed the house. But she was married to a pretty wild...
Close the business.
Well, close the business.
I gotcha.
Close the business. She was married to Percy Gladden during the time that it was operating as a house. And Percy owned the first moving picture show in town, and he had a couple of saloons. On their wedding certificate, he put down as his occupation, cowboy. And so anyway, they had a pretty stormy marriage, but...
Oh, is that the story of the safe? Where the safe... I read that in your book.
You can see it better.
Now, we're under as you can see, this beautiful stairway that goes up, 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 way up.
So you see right on
I love this. Oh my gosh.
M. Schultz. So
M. Schultz.
It was Martha Schultz. No, Johnson was her maiden name.
Okay, so this
Schultz
was another
her
marriage.
first husband, that's to say.
She created that area under the stairway.
And the way we
sort of a
found-
camouflage door.
Yeah, the way we found when the house was electrified, it was one of the first ones to be electrified in town. She had this metal connection here, and there's a wire. And when you shut the door, when you open the door, it breaks connection, and a buzzer went off under
In her room.
Yeah. So she.
Wow, that's a safe. Look at the door. My goodness. Oh, that's so fascinating.
Beautiful oil
It is
painting
beautiful.
on
A little oil painting. Wow.
Right.
I can't imagine running a whorehouse in the early 1900s in Salem, Indiana.
Well,
I mean,
luckily, when we bought the house, there were still people alive that remember Maddie Gladden from when they were kids. But from what I've heard and what I think is pretty true is that the train stopped here from Chicago going to Louisville, and it got here about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4:30. And generally, these were businessmen getting off the train and would stay at the Alvis Hotel up on the square. And then they would come here for their entertainment. And I think it's important to understand that, you know, when we say whorehouse, it kind of makes it seem like they just came here for that one reason. It really was more entertainment, and yes, it may have ended that way, but you know, you were kind of wined and entertained.
I hope so for $100 in 1900 something.
Yeah,
That's still a lot of money to me.
This one, in the next room we go into here, is what would be considered the informal parlor, but we'd call it the living room in our days. That fireplace top, for instance, see, was one of the originals that we got
Okay,
back.
that's an original fireplace top you had referenced.
Yeah, they had cut it off, and we got it back.
How'd you get it back?
Well, the people who had modernized the house called us and said, you know, we have the tops to your fireplaces if you're interested in buying them.
At least they saved them.
Yeah, but we had to buy them back. So,
Look at this beautiful wallpaper. Now, that's something you did?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like original to the home, I'm
as
gonna
many as 15 layers of wallpaper on some of these walls.
Oh my gosh.
And when you got
This-
down to the last layer, though, there were some really classy. She had one room that had copper infused design on it, so she didn't spare any expense.
No, she didn't. Right from the bottom of the floor up the wall to the ceilings, which are remarkable in themselves.
Well, now some of them I did.
They're still remarkable.
And so when I found that someone was tearing down an old home, I would always go and ask if I could possibly look and see woodwork or whatever, something that I could use. And this was out of the Mobley home. All this woodwork was from the Mobley house, which is where the fire department is now.
Oh,
That
okay.
building,
So the home's long gone.
all long gone.
Yeah,
So I was able to save it and use it in this room.
that's interesting. How high are the ceilings here? Like, are they 12?
11 and a half foot.
11 and a half foot. Okay, all right.
You notice there's a hole over here in the wall.
A hole in the
We'll
wall.
look at that from the other side. You
Okay.
can see it better, but
I got you.
that is the pass-through for tea service. So let's
This
say-
informal family room, living room is really stunning. I mean, it is beautiful. Gosh. And a look from the other side of the foyer and the front entrance, it's just spectacular. And I'm going to be saying that over and over, but too bad.
Now you come into the formal.
Formal dining room.
And,
So this is Thanksgiving, this is Christmas dinners, this is
we can
holiday
get, when
time.
the table's open and we add the other part to it, we can get up to 16 people in here.
Have you ever had that many in here?
Oh, yeah. When we have the bed and breakfast,
man.
we did many dinners and things in here.
I forgot about that,
Birthday
yeah.
parties and all of that as well. Because we did run it for bed and breakfast after we were both retired in 2012. We ran it for bed and breakfast for several years.
And
We loved it. It was fun.
and the other great story on you, there's several I'm finding out, talking about retirement. You taught theater for decades, yes?
40 years.
40 years?
39, actually.
39, okay, wow. Tried to slide another year in there on me. Now, you taught in New Albany, Floyd Knobs?
Well, I started at one of our county schools here in Washington County, West Washington, and I taught there for 14 years. Started out English and speech, and then started adding in theater. And by the time I retired, mostly all theater there. When I left there, taught here in Salem for a year before I moved on to Silver Creek High School and taught just theater only. And then finally ended up with Floyd Central.
That had to be been a fascinating career.
Theater's been amazing to me. It's just an incredible thing to see what kids can do, and what they become and where they go, and adding arts into the curriculum is a lifesaver for a lot of kids.
I'll bet.
And I couldn't have done anything I loved more. Oftentimes they'll ask, they'll say, "Hey, how many kids do you have?" I said, "Oh, about 3,000-4,000." Because once they're your kids for life, and it's
Of course.
great.
So who doesn't want to be retired? But there are moments that you have to miss that.
Oh yeah, there are. But I get to live vicariously now through a lot of my kids, because I've got kids all the way from Broadway to LA and overseas and everywhere.
That came through your theater
They
program.
came through the programs, and it's just so rewarding to see. And it's not just the kids who make it, By having been surrounded by the arts, they have a better outlook for the world, And that's what makes it great. They're just, it's a big family. And I see so many of them that are so happy.
And I'll bet you still hear from,
A lot.
even going back 40 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's so cool.
yeah.
That is so neat.
This,
All right.
There's your
There
little
it is.
button right there. You push that, it rings up to the maid's room, so she'd come running. She supposedly had a full-time maid and a full-time cook.
Sounds like Maddie had a pretty good business going here
She
and
must
did
have-
very well for
she
herself.
Must have been doing all right, I think. Yeah, I think she did all right.
I mean, this would have been, this is a palace today. It certainly would have been one in 1906.
So that's original too, of course. Then
Oh, really? That's,
I've been
and of
really
course, that's a hutch that's built right in.
I'm surprised those glass doors have lasted through all the families that have been here. Lots of kids.
Wow. Oh, yeah, that they weren't broken or something. But that's the original glass.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Well, and again, think about this. This is to me what amazes me about this house is the fact that it was all done by hand. No electricity, no wild tools to work with. It just amazes me that stuff like this was built back then. You know. Kitchens, obviously not old-fashioned. When we retired in 2012, that was the first thing my wife said. We're going to redo this kitchen, make it modern, because our kitchen was not at all modern. But it still maintains that feel.
What I think one of the many things so special about this homes is the hardwood floors, which I love that color, that mapley, cherry, wide plank look, and they're so well preserved. And they don't stop in the foyer or the living area or the parlor. They're throughout the home, and I think that helps keep the feel all the way through, regardless of modernizing the kitchen, which is beautiful, by the way. I love these floors. They're
Then
just.
when we did the kitchen, we decided we wanted to have a breakfast room when we were thinking about doing the bed and breakfast, and so we enclosed it. Open here, looking right out at those gardens, and so it's a great place when you have guests
Gardens.
to sit out here and.
Oh, that's so nice.